Hey everyone, today we're going to be going over how to properly blend layers in a haircut. Now, this isn't going to be focused on doing skin fades or any crazy things like that. There's plenty of tutorials out there for that in particular, but this is more about the actual haircut itself when dealing with longer hair, layers, things like that, what to look for, how to achieve them, why you should blend it, and all that kind of stuff. So, firstly, blending is really essential if you want your haircut to really have a good flow, okay? Have you ever, and let me know in the comments below, have you ever had a haircut where it wasn't blended properly, where you saw steps in your hair, where things were just not laying properly, and then when you hold your hair up, one section of hair was like 3 inches longer than the other sections, and you're like, what's going on? Because that one area is very unbalanced or uneven, and it happens very, very often. I've fixed up many, many crime scenes and massacres in my career as a stylist, and the good thing about, my experience or dealing with an experienced professional is that hopefully most of the time they're going to be able to spot right away what is going on with the haircut. If you are a client, this is very, very important. When you go into your professional and something is not right, you go home, after you get a haircut from somewhere else, they butchered your hair, you want to try someone new, you do your research, you find somebody, and you're like, you know what, I need this fixed. My hair is very, very uneven. When I pull my hair like this, there's pieces that, keep going, it's unbalanced, so please can you check for the unevenness, and it seems like it's in this area. Just direct the professional on where the problem area is in your hair, because once they know, it helps cut down the time of them trying to figure out what's going on. So just please communicate with your professional. So, blending a haircut, especially if you want a feathered look, especially if you're getting, layers or whatever type of haircut you're getting that requires blending, it's super, super, super important that it's done correctly and that it is done, okay? The only time that you're not going to be blending a haircut is if you're getting like a disconnected haircut. Disconnection means it's disconnected from the rest of it, so it's not blended. There are methods and techniques and looks where I've even done them on my channel here in videos where it says disconnected blended haircut or blended disconnect. Basically what that means is that all of this under here is blended, meaning I could start from the hair from going 1/2 inch to 1 inch, that is blended. But then everything on top is disconnected, especially if you're doing some sort of undercut or disconnected haircut where this is much, much longer. It may not look super, super disconnected, but that's simply because of the haircut, all right? And there's many times a haircut could be disconnected simply by 1 inch or 1/2 inch or 2 inches. So it all really, really, really depends. But for the most part, all haircuts should be blended. And what do I mean by that, okay? I just wanted to let you know and go over that in detail so you have an understanding of really what that means and what you need to be looking for and saying to your professional. So let's bring this mannequin up this way, okay? Now this is a mannequin I just pulled off of one of the shelves over there, and I have no idea what's going on with this haircut. So if I'm looking for blending, now it looks fairly blended to me, but let's see what's going on here. So the first thing that I do is I take the hair and I comb it straight up from where the hair grows, all right? So I'm gonna pull the hair straight up this way, and my first reaction is, you know what? It doesn't look so bad at all. So I'm gonna actually trim this up right here, because I saw one little piece in the middle that's longer, and now I'm going to pull the hair out from the head this way. So as you can see, we're following the head shape. That's the corner, all right? Here's the corner. Now we're working into the sides. That looks great. Now let's go all the way down into the sides, which is the bottom half into here. All right, let's pull this all out so you can see. And you know what? It looks pretty darn good. I'm gonna pull the hair straight out. I'm just gonna trim that little bit right there. So now what this is telling me is that this entire haircut, and if you want to be a perfectionist, I mean, you could do section by section. This entire section in here is perfectly blended. which means that we're going to be able to achieve a nice, balanced, even type of look. So let's continue. Now I'm going to go further back into this section. Okay, now we're going back into the head. So, all right, there's a little piece right there. Needs to be blended and balanced. Let's hold on to the front as our guide, and let's see what we got going on here. Pulling the hair straight out. Again, it looks okay. We're just going to balance that out a little bit. And the balancing, method of this or area of this could simply be the hair needs to be cut an extra ½ inch to blend it. You know what I mean? So you're going to have extreme cases where the hair needs to be blended in because it's off by like 2 inches, 1.5 inches, whatever it is, or it could be like right here, it could be a ½ inch. But every single hair, needs to be connected somehow, unless, as I mentioned, it's a disconnected haircut. So all I'm simply doing, okay, and all you need to do is follow through the haircut on where the hair is growing out from the head by pulling it out this way. All right, another great way to check to see is by checking vertically. All right, now vertically simply means that let's bring this way, and I'll move out of the way because once again, yes, I'm wearing a black shirt, and I know how much you all hate me wearing black shirts, but here we go. So now we've got that, and let's comb this straight up this way, or straight out. Straight out is actually more important because the hair in the front here could be growing this way, it could be growing this way, it could be growing this way. So remember to comb it straight out from the head, because straight up could cause a whole different type of thing. Here it's straight out, so there we go. It changed the shape completely. That looks actually pretty good. So if you comb the hair straight out from the head this way, right, in certain areas it is going to be a 90-degree angle or straight out from the head, basically you're going to see what is wrong in the haircut. You're going to see what needs to be blended, what needs to be balanced, and all that stuff. So that's why when I was seeing clients, would be very, 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 very thorough in my checking routine and balancing routine and make sure that all of this was working in sync together. So this is all perfectly working together now. The next part of the blending comes to the back of the head, which is right in through here. So typically, it's hard to check on your own head, but the first thing you could do to check is if you were to clip the hair out of the way, and I do sell these hair clips of my own at shop.thesalonguy.com, and what you can do is literally take a section on the top back of the head and comb it straight up. When you comb it straight up, what you're going to be able to do is look for what could possibly be uneven areas. So let's comb this straight up, and you're going to look and say, oh, you know what? This is much shorter, this is much shorter, and this in the middle is quite a bit longer. So let's fix that. And then you have to continue on throughout the rest of the head because you can't just cut a straight line across. You have to then bring up the next section and next section. And that's the best way to do it on your own, is by bringing the hair straight out from the head so you can see and look in the mirror, because it's better to have even sections, right, and even cuts throughout the head than having hair cuts and sections that are really, really, really uneven, because that will end up showing in how your hair looks, and it's going to be a complete disaster. So then when you get towards the very, very front, okay, once again, what you can do is pull the hair straight up and out from the head, and then you could see your guide from underneath. Say, oh wow, that's a lot shorter, I need to blend that in. And then you can continue to work off of that. So every piece of hair, right, needs to have a place, needs to be in place. It needs to all work into itself. And that's where I see and have seen dozens and dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of haircuts that are unbalanced and uneven. And don't get me wrong, okay? You may not even see it, and your hair may look phenomenal. I'm just such a perfectionist that I'm so thorough with my haircuts, and I have been in the past, where I'm going through everything, because my goal as a professional and as someone who, when I was really working on clients, was to make sure that the haircut grew out really well. So I would actually cut hair to grow out. I know you're like, what is he talking about? But that all comes down to the approach to the haircut. Because if I'm cutting it very uneven or not blending or balancing the haircut, it's going to grow out looking like a complete disaster, okay? Let me know in the comments below, okay, if you have had a disastrous, unblended hack job haircut. And don't forget, I have all of these tools available at shop.thesalonguy.com. I have my own shears, my own hair cutting shears. These are what I use. I have these handcrafted for myself. I have my own clips. I have my own hair cutting combs. I use all of this stuff because it's all under my name. I wanted all this made, so I'm not gonna sell anything that I'm not using. Shop.thesalonguy.com, use code YouTube20, that's YouTube20 for 20% off. It's free shipping in the United States. Some products, some items like hairspray, my blow dryer, a couple of things can't be shipped internationally, unfortunately, because of just regulations. But however, lots of stuff you can get. So let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.